शिल्पी।
गुरु मेरी पूजा गुरु गोविंद, गुरु मेरा पार ब्रह्म, गुरु भगवंत। गुरु मेरी पूजा गुरु गोविंद, गुरु मेरा पार ब्रह्म, गुरु भगवंत। जम छुटकार गुर से बातें जम छुटकार गुर मेरी पूजा गुर गोविंद गुर मेरा पार ब्रह्म गुर भगवंत गुर मेरी पूजा गुर गोविंद गुर मेरा पार ब्रह्म गुर भगवंत अंधकार में गुर मंत्र उजाला अंधकार में गुर मंत्र उजाला गुर के संग सगल निस्तारा गुर के संग सगल निस्तारा गुर मेरी पूजा गुर गोविंद गुर मेरा पार ब्रह्म गुर भगवंत गुर मेरी पूजा गुर गोविंद गुर मेरा पार ब्रह्म गुर भगवंत गुर पूरा पाइए वड पागी गुर पूरा पाइए वड पागी गुर की सेवा दुख ना लागी गुर की सेवा दुख ना लागी गुर मेरी पूजा गुर गोविंद गुर मेरा पार ब्रह्म गुर भगवंत गुर मेरी पूजा गुर गोविंद गुर मेरा पार ब्रह्म गुर भगवंत गुर का शब्द न मिटे कोई गुर का शब्द न मिटे कोई गुरु नानक नानक हर सोए गुरु नानक नानक हर सोए गुर मेरी पूजा गुर गोविंद गुर मेरा पार ब्रह्म गुर भगवंत गुर गुर मेरी पूजा गुर गोविंद गुर मेरा पार ब्रह्म गुर भगवंत गुर मेरी पूजा गुर गोविंद गुर मेरा पार ब्रह्म गुर भगवंत गुर गुर नाम अन दिन जपो गुर गुर नाम गुर मेरी पूजा गुर गोविंद गुर मेरा पार ब्रह्म गुर भगवंत।
रुपाली शुरू किया जाए।
Yes. Pranam sabhi ko. I am honored to welcome you all to today's gathering. As we all know, we are continuing with our series, Patron Memorial Lecture Series, to honor our Gurujans Justice S.N. Kapoor and Shri M.N. Kedar sir. The theme of the series is Decode the Mind, Align the Cosmic Wisdom, Truth to Reality, Sthir Man, Spasht Disha. We are here to explore a fascinating intersection, the link between the rhythms of the cosmos and the well being of the human mind. As the famous psychologist Carl Jung once said, and I quote, astrology represents the sum of all the psychological knowledge of antiquity. Today, we aren't just looking at stars, we are looking at them as mirrors. While modern science studies our neurotransmitters, astrology helps us understand the cosmic currents that fuel our emotional resilience and intellectual balance. I would now like to invite our host for the day, Natasha Kapoor, Mrs. Natasha Kapoor, who is a Visharad student and a teacher by profession, who will take you forward on this journey. Over to Natasha ji, please.
थैंक यू शिफाली मैम, थैंक यू सो मच। नमस्कार सभी गुरुजनों और सभी को शुभ संध्या और माय हार्टफुल ग्रेटिट्यूड एंड ग्रीटिंग्स टू द डिस्टिंग्विश्ड मेंबर ऑफ इंडियन काउंसिल ऑफ एस्ट्रोलॉजिकल साइंसेस। आज हम इस खास सीरीज की शुरुआत कर रहे हैं, द पीएमएल सीरीज, डिकोड द माइंड, अलाइन द कॉस्मिक विजडम, ट्रूथ टू रियलिटी, स्थिर मन, स्पष्ट दिशा, presented by Indian Council of Astrological Sciences Noida chapter specifically. अपने माइंड को समझने का और उसे कॉस्मिक विजडम के साथ अलाइन करने का ये एक बहुत बड़ा अपॉर्चुनिटी है जो हमारे को नोएडा चैप्टर प्रोवाइड करता है। दिन भर की भागदौड़ के बाद ये समय है थोड़ा रुकने का और अपने थॉट्स और अपने इमोशंस को ऑब्जर्व करने का, क्योंकि संध्या काल है एंड इट इज बिलीव्ड दैट ड्यूरिंग द ट्रांजिशन, दिस ट्रांजिशन टाइम, द कॉस्मिक एनर्जी शिफ्ट रैपिडली and the veil between the physical and the subtle world becomes very, very thinner. So चंद्रमा अपनी पोजीशन लेता है और हमारा मन स्थिर रहने के लिए हमें प्रयास करना पड़ता है, and this is a beautiful time to meditate and start any of the prayers. So now I would request and invite Parminder Kumar Chaturvedi ji, AMVT and chapter chairperson of Gwalior chapter, to please lead us with the prayer and begin today's session, sir.
जय गणपति बहन जी।
जय गणपति। आवाज आ रही?
जी आ रही।
जय गणपति। ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवापुंसस्तनूभिर्व्यसेमहि देवहितं शतमिन्दुशरदो अन्तिदेवा जत्रा निश्चक्राजरसन्तनूनां पुत्रास जत्रा पितरो भवन्ति मानो मद्यारीरेखता जुर्गन्तः अदितिर्यौरदितिरन्तरिक्षमदितिर्माता स पिता स पुत्रः विश्वे देवा अदितिः पञ्चजना अदितिर्जातमदितिर्जनि त्वं द्यौः शान्तिरन्तरिक्षगुं शान्तिः पृथिवी शान्तिरापः शान्तिरोषधयः शान्तिः वनस्पतयः शान्तिर्विश्वे देवाः शान्ति ब्रह्म शान्तिः सर्वगुं शान्तिः शान्तिरेव शान्तिः सा मा शान्तिरेधि जतो यतः समीहसे ततो नो अभयं गुरु षण्णः कुरु प्रजाभ्यो भयन्नः आशुभ्यः गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम सच्चिदानंदरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्री कृष्णाय वयं नमः। जय गणपति।
जी नताशा।
थैंक यू सो मच। थैंक यू सो मच सर। थैंक यू पंडित परमेंद्र जी, थैंक यू सो मच। अब मैं अपने इनवाइट करती हूँ हमारे आज के पहले स्पीकर, जो कि ऐसे व्यक्तित्व हैं, केवल वो लोगों को समझते नहीं है बट दे हेल्प एंड ट्रांसफॉर्म पीपल ऑल्सो। आज हम उनका यहाँ पर स्वागत कर रहे हैं, जिन्होंने साइकोलॉजी और स्पिरिचुअलिटी को एक साथ जोड़कर एक नई दिशा दी है। Today, we are about to welcome a personality who has beautifully integrated this. And Dr. Pulkit Sharma, a renowned clinical psychologist, psychoanalytic therapist, spiritual counselor, and an author and a digital creator, of course, जिनके पास दर्शकों को अधिक समृद्ध अनुभव है, काफी ज्यादा अनुभव है। उन्होंने एमफिल इन क्लिनिकल साइकोलॉजी की डिग्री इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ ह्यूमन बिहेवियर एंड अलाइड साइंसेज से ली है, विच इज यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ दिल्ली। एंड ही इज इनटू थेरेपेटिक अप्रोचेस जैसे कि सीबीटी, साइकोएनालिटिक साइकोथेरेपी, ट्रॉमा फोकस थेरेपी के साथ साथ इंडियन स्पिरिचुअलिटी और ईस्टर्न फिलोसफीज में गहरी पकड़ रखी है। डॉक्टर शर्मा प्राइमरी एडल्ट और एडोलेसेंस के साथ काम करते हैं और एंजाइटी, डिप्रेशन, ओसीडी, ट्रॉमा, एडिक्शन, रिलेशनशिप कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स और पर्सनालिटीज डिसऑर्डर जैसे जटिल मामलों में भी विशेषज्ञता रखते हैं। अपने 2 दशकों के करियर में उन्होंने हॉस्पिटल्स, डी एडिक्शन सेंटर्स, एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट्स, एनजीओज और स्पिरिचुअल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में भी काम किया है। साथ ही कई ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम्स और एकेडमिक कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशंस भी दिए हैं। वे एक acclaimed ऑथर भी हैं, जिन्होंने पुस्तक When the Soul Heals, The Exploration in Spiritual Psychology ने साइकोलॉजी और स्पिरिचुअलिटी के संगम को एक नई पहचान दी है और ग्लोबल स्तर पर सराही गई है। उनका इस तरीके से थेरेपी को केवल ट्रीटमेंट नहीं मानना, बल्कि एक जर्नी ऑफ सेल्फ एवोल्यूशन, इनर स्ट्रेंथ और डीप फुलफिलमेंट के रूप में देखना, जहां व्यक्ति अपने भीतर की शक्ति को पहचान कर जीवन को नए अर्थ देता है। आइए, लेट्स वेलकम टुगेदर डॉक्टर आइए लेट्स वेलकम टुगेदर टू डॉक्टर पुलकित शर्मा। थैंक यू सर, प्लीज टेक योर सीट।
Thank you so much, Natasha. Thanks a lot. It's a pleasure being here. I hope I'm audible to everyone.
जी
Yeah.
पुलकित।
Yes,
यह
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. ठीक है. So, today I thought that we will talk about overcoming. I mean, I don't like the word overcoming. That seems like a very routine word. So I often use the word transcending, that transcending difficulties. Because, when we are saying that, we are overcoming difficulties, it seems like very human, very routine, filled with struggle, filled with problems. But when we are saying transcending difficulties, it means that we are clearly at a very, very higher level than where the difficulty is. So we'll be talking about this, and I have a presentation, so which I will be just sharing with you. Just a second. 1 minute. Wait a second. I just need to sort of wait a minute. Just give me a moment. I just open my PPT. Sit down that that you guys will be able to take notes while we talk. Yes. Are you all able to see this?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yes. Okay. I'm shifting to the
Yeah,
slideshow view. Yeah,
that's good.
it's visible.
Perfect,
Oh,
sir. Perfect, sir.
okay. Fine. Fine. So first, let's talk about why setbacks. जब भी कोई मुसीबत आती है, setback होता है. Why are they so painful? Why are they so traumatic? And often, when we ask this question, we come to this conclusion that setback is an external thing, but what makes it very painful is our inner response or reaction to it. you know Nowadays we often see there are a lot of students commit suicides because they get less marks. There are youngsters, if they love someone and that person does not reciprocate, they get mad, angry. They would attack that person, defame that person. We have corporate employees, if they are not achieving their goals, they would slip into addiction, slip into depression. So such type of setbacks are very common. But as I said, setback is an external event, but what is behind it is that expectation we have this expectation from the world that we should get a lot of love, we should get a lot of admiration, we should get a lot of grandiosity. Like everyone these days wants to be a superhero, superstar, बिल्कुल जैसे होता है ना कि एक लाइमलाइट में रहूं मैं हमेशा. तो एक्सपेक्टेशन यही होती है दैट आई शुड बी इन अ लाइमलाइट. एंड जहां पे भी ये लगता है दैट आई एम नॉट इन द लाइमलाइट, देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ फियर, पेन. And that's why any setback where you are not in the limelight, it becomes very painful for many people to deal with. The person feels very small and feels that he or she has lost control, life is over, there's no meaning to life. So these are very extreme reactions which come from a setback. Once we introspect this deeply, we also realize that we all carry a trait of hedonism. Hedonism का अर्थ ये होता है that we want pleasure, happiness, good feelings, but we don't want unpleasantness, we don't want pain. We carry this expectation that life should be full of pleasure, happiness, and should be devoid of pain. And if you see, just because of this attitude, many small problems, like, failing an exam, or, liking someone and that person not reciprocating your feelings, or, any kind of setback, which is a routine part of life, it becomes a big emergency बिकॉज ऑफ अ रिएक्शन. हम सोचते हैं कि कि ये कि लाइफ बहुत अच्छी होनी चाहिए, सब बहुत स्मूथ होना चाहिए, हैप्पीनेस ही मिलनी चाहिए, सक्सेस ही मिलना चाहिए. एंड जहां पे भी ऐसी कोई चीज आती है, इट बिकम्स अ बिग इमरजेंसी जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ अ फ्लॉड एटीट्यूड. I would again repeat that there's not so much of a problem in that thing, but the way we perceive it, हम उसे बहुत बड़ी problem बना लेते हैं. Like, how we say in English, making a mountain out of a molehill, या हिंदी में कहते हैं ना राई का पहाड़ बना. And behind this, there's this very stubborn assumption that pain, setback is a very dangerous thing, is a very unpleasant thing, and I should never face it. So बहुत सिंपल सी चीज है that if we have to deal with a setback, now you all are a lot of you are like experts in astrology or are learning astrology, and you would often be contacted by people who would say that that I'm facing this is the setback, or this is so. And these people are looking for solutions, looking for resolutions. But once again, I feel uh, यहाँ पे psychology, astrology, and spirituality come together, that even when we are suggesting remedies or solutions to this person, we somehow need to understand their perception, and we somehow need to tell them that, boss, fine, you can do these remedies, and you can try these solutions, you can try these resolutions, but first of all you need to learn to not react so much to any unpleasant thing. ये है जिंदगी है, उसमें कुछ चीजें अनप्लेजेंट होंगी, and you need to understand that, you need to be bold enough, you need to be strong enough to deal with that. So in my work, what I have seen is that the number one step in transcending difficulties is that we somehow work with this flawed perception. We need to change it. Until unless the person changes it, they will be like very unhappy, very depressed, and even when you give them any solutions or resolutions, they will still say कि अरे नहीं ये तो काम नहीं कर रहा, this is not what I wanted, I'm still unhappy, all those sort of things. And here I would like to quote, like, there's this very long poem. It's actually a very thick book by Sri Aurobindo. It's called, Savitri. तो उसमें उन्होंने इतना beautifully लिखा है. He has described the value of pain. So he says, pain is the hammer of the gods to break a dead resistance in the mortal's heart, his slow inertia as of living stone. If the heart were not forced to want and weep, his soul would have lain down content, at ease, and never thought to exceed the human start, and never learned to climb towards the sun. It's a beautiful, poem, and these are very beautiful lines where he says that if there was no pain in existence, if there was no trauma in existence, there would be no human spirit to rise up, to fight and to conquer. कि पेन इसलिए हमें दी गई है कि हमारी एवोल्यूशन हो सके. अगर पेन ना हो, एंड I think it's very interesting to imagine that if we were in an existence जहाँ पे कोई problem नहीं है, कोई pain नहीं है, कोई difficulty नहीं है, it will be like a party, come, have fun, happy-go-lucky, merry type of party. So pain has a divine value, it has a cosmic value at this moment in human existence. And that's what, when we are confronted with pain, I think we have two choices. Choice number one is that we can continue to cry, we can continue to feel helpless for weeks, for months, for years. And there is choice number two, And this choice number two has been endorsed by psychological research and case studies, that if we can alter the perception of trauma, if we can alter the perception of pain, this feeling of doom and dread diminishes and we are able to move on. And here I would quote another very learned sage, Raman Maharishi, who observed that when the mind merges in the true self, the body and the ego consciousness ceases, and consequently the pain terminates. Meaning that to deal with pain, to fight pain, we have to somehow enlarge our perspective. We have to evolve, we have to grow. So if we can do this one very simple thing, if we can respond to any problem, any bad experience with this faith that it is meant for my progress, it is meant for my growth, and if we can continue to hold on to our faith in the divine with an attitude of surrender, then we will be able to do something constructive with that experience. But if we feel that it's a tragedy, it's a trauma, it's something so unfortunate, if we approach it with a victim mindset, मैं बेचारा, मेरे साथ ही ऐसा क्यों हुआ है, why me, then we will be kind of, we'll be caught up in the pain forever. I think the step number two in transcending difficulties is that somehow we need to understand and do away with our false self, and we need to embrace our true self. So once again, what is this false self? This false self is this very human, shallow self which wants to be loved, admired, valued unconditionally throughout our lives. In fact, बहुत सारे लोगों को ये चिंता होती है, मतलब अक्सर तो लोग ये कहते हैं कि हाँ, मतलब मैं जब तक जिंदा रहूं मुझे एडमिरेशन मिले, लव मिले, वैल्यू मिले। बहुत सारे लोग ये भी सोचते हैं कि मरने के बाद भी मुझे एडमिरेशन, वैल्यू सब मिलता रहे, तब भी लोग बहुत ही अच्छा सोचे मेरे बारे में। And we toil very hard to keep this narrative alive. कि दुनिया हमें लाइक करे, दुनिया हमें लव करे, दुनिया हमें वैल्यू करे। उसमें बहुत बार ये होता है that we end up doing what the world values. Like these days I work with a lot of youngsters, and and it's a big tragedy. बहुत सारे यंगस्टर्स, इनफैक्ट ऑलमोस्ट ऑल यंगस्टर्स, उनका यही ड्रीम, यही एस्पिरेशन है टू बिकम अ सोशल मीडिया सेंसेशन, and Q, because that is like the way through which you can get easy admiration, easy fan following, and you can be like a star. So I see that many brilliant people who have so many talents, वो सब छोड़ छाड़ के they are into this social media because they just want to be admired. That is like a very sad and a classic case of how someone you know in order to chase this stardom can become what they. And when I ask these people, do you really enjoy doing this, do you really enjoy making a reel every day, so they would say no, we don't enjoy making a reel. But yes, when we get like 50 likes, when we get 100 likes, when we get so many messages, when we are walking on street and someone would come and say, oh yeah, I've seen your reels, tab bahut acha lagta hai. So it's a classic case of that how one can leave one's deeper talents, deeper aspirations, deeper goals to embrace something which is so shallow and so flawed. And that's why whenever we have a setback in life, it is an opportunity for us to see this mirror, to give up this artificial performance and to embrace our deeper essence. That like this thing should be that what is it that I want from the depths of my being? What is it that is unique in me? What is it that is special about me? इंसान को उस चीज पे फोकस करके उस चीज के साथ काम करना चाहिए, ना कि दिस थिंग अबाउट दिस फॉल्स सेल्फ. And to these youngsters, I'm sharing this one thing with you, that I often share this very small practice where I tell them to think of a recent experience where they wanted to be authentic but they were not. And I tell them to mentally think about this experience, to relive this, and pause for a moment and ask themselves these questions: that what am I afraid would happen if I lived my true self? How does it feel if I don't live authentically? If I weren't afraid, what would I want to do? You know? And then I tell them to breathe deeply and with every breath invite calm and peace. And when they are firmly grounded in peace, imagine living their true self. So the value of living true self is tremendous. Because once you are living from your true self, it really does not matter if people in the world don't like you, if you don't have fans, because your goals and aspirations come from within. You are not so dependent on the world, for likes, for loves, for aspirations, for all these things. That comes from within, So that's why it is so important for all of us to understand what is our true self and to spend our life in living our life, you know, in a way that we can manifest, grow, and evolve this true self. Step number 3 is being guided by our vision. So a lot of people, I feel, if I ask people, what is your vision? They will come up with these very small things. Oh, I want to be rich. I want to get good marks. I want to have a nice partner. And I would smile at them and I would say, Kini, this is not your vision. This is just a small goal. Like, have clearing one exam, getting one job, getting one partner. buying a car, buying a house, these are like goals. ठीक है, ये तो you will set them and you will work towards it. 6 महीने साल में हो जाएगा या नहीं होगा, I tell them this is not your vision. Vision is something deep. Vision is what you have for your life, and this is a very sad aspect because these days in schools we don't teach small children to have a vision. हम उनको गोल्स के बारे में तो बताते हैं that yes you need to do this, you need to do that, अच्छे मार्क्स यहाँ पे लेके आओ, ये करो, but we don't tell them that all right, for a moment think that who are you, what are your aspirations and how would you want your life to be. So we have so all our youth is chasing one goal after another goal, but they don't have a vision. And it's very sad because if you don't have vision and if you are chasing goals, so then your existence is very haywire. आप कभी ये सोचोगे मैं फिजिकली फिट हो जाऊं, कभी सोचोगे मुझे कार लेनी है, कभी सोचोगे मुझे ये चाहिए, कभी सोचोगे मुझे अब ये अचीव करना है, तो then your life is very haphazard. But once you have a vision that this is who I am and this is what I want, then all those then your goals become like steps to that vision. Then each goal becomes a step to the vision, and then everything is integrated into a goal. If you don't have a vision, you are living a disintegrated existence कि आप बहुत भाग दौड़ कर रहे हो, गोल सेट कर रहे हो, अचीव कर रहे हो, बट आपकी एग्जिस्टेंस बड़ी हिवायर है. और इसीलिए होता है that if people achieve a goal, they are happy, they'll celebrate, they'll party, but if they don't achieve a goal, they'll feel pathetic. Why? Once again, because that high from the goal is short lived. आपने कोई goal achieve किया, you will be like very happy for like 1 day, 2 day, you will have a party, you'll click a picture, you'll post it on Instagram, you'll tell the world. But after 4 or 5 days, then you are back to that emptiness where you need another goal, or because you don't know what you want deeply. And that's why, although goals keep you moving, they don't tell you the right direction. This right direction comes from a vision for your life. So we need to have a vision for our life, and then we need to set specific goals to fulfill this vision. And I would say that these things are so widespread these days that even when I talk to like young psychology students and I ask them that what is your vision for life, they'll say my vision for life is to be a clinical psychologist. मैंने कहा ये क्या, ये तो 4 साल पढ़ के बन ही जाओगे, 5 साल पढ़ के बन जाओगे, फिर क्या, मतलब इतना ही विजन. Then they would smile and say कि नहीं, फिर एक बार बन जाएंगे, फिर सोचेंगे फिर और क्या है. That's not what vision is. Vision is like a broad thing. It is the foundation, and on that foundation then you can build a building of your goals. But you need to have that deep sense of vision. Now, how to get that vision? People also ask कि ठीक है, ये बहुत अच्छा लगता है सुनने में that yes, have a vision for life, have a mission for life, but क्या, because it is very vague. There's no straight answer to it. And it is here that I feel very sad about this thing, that self-reflection, that art of self-reflection has gone now. We don't teach people, we don't teach children, we don't teach youngsters, we don't teach people in workplaces to self-reflect. So once we start self-reflecting, we can tell the person to imagine the perfect, the highest possible, the strongest, and the most evolved version of oneself and think of an ideal life. Vision यही होता है that जो भी आपका true self है उसका best version in all aspects, what can be, like in terms of like who you are, उसका सबसे best version, with all the aspects, with yourself, relationships, education, career, spirituality, सबको मिला के वो best version क्या हो सकता है, that is your vision for your life. It's a very simple thing, but why people don't understand it is because we don't teach them to self reflect, and we don't encourage them to have a vision. But once the person has this awareness, then everything, फिर चाहे वो बॉडी को लेकर गोल हो, माइंड को लेकर गोल हो, रिलेशनशिप्स को लेकर गोल हो, करियर को लेकर गोल हो, then everything becomes synchronized and in tune with one another. Then like it's like that everything falls into place. And आई ऑफन ऑल्सो टेल पीपल कि ये जो विजन के बारे में सोचना है या जो डीप एस्पिरेशन के बारे में सोचना है, दिस इज नॉट समथिंग दैट यू डू ऑन वन पर्टिकुलर डे, दैट ओके यू गो attend a workshop and you do it one day, you write it in a notebook and then you forget it. This is something that you need to spend few minutes every day, thinking that yes, this is my vision, and whether इन टूडेज डे, लाइक जो मेरा आज का दिन है, उसमें मैं अपने विजन को फुलफिल करने के लिए क्या करूँ. सो ईच डे हैज टू बी लिव्ड विद दैट sort of consciousness. Only then, so I say कि जैसे वो vision should be in your consciousness like a constant burning flame, that every day you revisit it, every day it is right there in your consciousness, and you take all your big and small decisions in the light of this vision. The fourth step is cultivating surrender. Ab theek hai, you have identified, you have worked on your perception, which is step number 1. You've changed your perception. You are no more scared of pain and trauma and the difficulties of life. Step number 2, you have also sort of understood what the false self is. Step number 3, you have understood what your vision is and how to be guided by it. Now we come to step number 4, which is like surrendering. मतलब अक्सर लोगों की लाइफ में ये शिकायत होती है that oh, I want support. Support नहीं मिलता, and people come and they tell me multiple times, I mean, if you kind of ever visit a psychotherapy room, उसमें यही बहुत गिले शिकवे होते हैं कि मुझे अपने पेरेंट्स से सपोर्ट नहीं मिला, पार्टनर से सपोर्ट नहीं मिला, टीचर से सपोर्ट नहीं मिला, बॉस से सपोर्ट नहीं मिला, फ्रेंड से सपोर्ट नहीं मिला, यहाँ बच्चों से नहीं सपोर्ट मिला. मतलब वो पूरी लाइफ की यही वो गाथा होती है कि किसने कहाँ कहाँ सपोर्ट नहीं किया. तो there's one way that you can feel bad about it, और लोग उसका यही करते हैं. मुझे बहुत हंसी भी आती है कई बार कि कुछ इस तरह के भी लोग आते हैं कि वो कहते हैं कि सपोर्ट नहीं मिला, एक रिलेशनशिप छोड़ा, फिर दूसरा रिलेशनशिप में आए, वहां सपोर्ट नहीं मिला, फिर तीसरे में गए, फोर्थ में गए, फिफ्थ में गए, सिक्स्थ में गए, ऐसे चलता है. So I think what we also need to understand is, and this is the very deep truth of life, and here I would like to quote the mother, where she said something very beautifully. She said that to depend upon someone else is like wanting to transform that person into a representative of the divine force. Now you may be sure there is not one in 100 million who can carry the weight. He will break immediately. So never take the attitude of hoping for support, help, comfort from anyone except the divine. इसका अगर मैं सिंपल भाषा में कहूँ तो ये मतलब है that हमें थ्रू आउट लाइफ सपोर्ट चाहिए होता है, एंड वी टर्न टू अवर ह्यूमन रिलेशनशिप्स फॉर सपोर्ट. वहां से कुछ सपोर्ट मिल जाता है, कुछ नहीं मिलता है. अब जो मिलता है, चलो वी आर somewhat grateful about it. जो नहीं मिलता, we are very sad and happy about it, and that becomes a big complaint. But what the learned souls and the realized souls have time and again said is कि ये जो टेंडेंसी है, जो आप बहुत ज्यादा सहारा ह्यूमन रिलेशनशिप्स में ढूंढते हैं, ये टेंडेंसी ही गड़बड़ है. क्योंकि आपको ह्यूमन रिलेशनशिप्स जैसा सपोर्ट मिल सकता है, लेकिन जो एक हम सबको एक बहुत बड़ा सपोर्ट चाहिए होता है, एक बहुत कांस्टेंट सपोर्ट, दैट कैन बी obtained only from the divine, and once we learn to surrender to the divine. तो इसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि हम ह्यूमन रिलेशनशिप्स छोड़ दें और बिल्कुल एक संन्यास ले लें, नॉट दैट, बट वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट यस, ह्यूमन रिलेशनशिप्स हैं, उनसे that I will get some percentage. That if I want 100% support in my life, maybe from human relationships I'll get only 35 to 40%, and I should be happy. उतना मिल रहा है ठीक है. अगर उससे बहुत कम मिल रहा है, 2-3% मिल रहा है, then it means my relationships are bad, फिर कुछ और करना चाहिए. But अगर 30, 35, 40% मिल रहा है, ठीक है. That is what is humanly possible. जो बाकी सपोर्ट चाहिए, for that I need to have an attitude of surrender and turn to the divine. That's what it is all about. एंड अगेन लोग की भी बहुत कंप्लेन होती है कि कि हम तो कोशिश की है डिवाइन सपोर्ट करे, बट डिवाइन डज नॉट सपोर्ट अस. पीपल ऑफन से दिस थिंग. सो here also what we need to understand is that that we can feel that grace, we can feel that support only when we learn to approach the divine with an attitude of surrender. Till the time we have a strong ego, which does not let us surrender, we will not be able to feel the divine presence or the divine support in our life. That's very important, which we need to understand. And that's why we need to come to terms with that. We need to slowly, build that absolute trust in the divine without any preconditions, expectations. We just need to surrender. Only then we can feel this kind of grace and this kind of support. So, and I often tell people that this is a small practice, that you can do. I mean, जो भी आपका form of divine हो या formless divine हो, whatever it is, so you need to close your eyes and focus on your breath and relax. And you can choose any form of the divine that you feel closest to. It can also be formless divine. And you need to become aware about all your pride and your vanity. And then you need to give up all this pride in perfect humility. Then you need to open up your whole body from head to toe, as one opens a book and expose everything, good, bad, positive, and negative, in a complete sincerity. And then you imagine that you are in the lap of the divine like a child, nestling in his arms, merging in him in loving and absolute trust. And with this kind of a prayer, that let your will be done and not mine, as you will, and I am yours for eternity. So surrender is also something which does not happen in a day. It is a journey, and we need to practice it every day. Only then we can kind of form this relationship with the divine. So here I would like to sort of uh, you know, sit this, and if you have any questions, we can take that.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for such an insightful session, wherein this reminds me of a quote from Rumi, which says, "The
Mhm.
wound is the place where there's a light when the light enters
When
you."
the light enters you, yes, exactly.
So beautifully mentioned by you also that setbacks are very, very important, and trauma is the place when we should actually change our perception to say that, okay, it should not be by me. There has to be a lesson, there has to be some message for us from the divine. And yes, without vision, no goals will survive. That's truly mentioned. And self reflection, gratitude, these things should be imbibed daily in our lives.
Right.
And at the end, it's all the divine energies, divine powers where we need to surrender. It's the Ma. Like we
Yeah,
really need to surrender in front of her as a baby, as a child, because it's the mother.
absolutely.
Thank you
Natasha,
so much.
we
Ji,
can
sir.
take one or two questions. I think somebody raised their hand. We
Yeah,
have to
Dr. Sanjay Sharma, I think he has raised his hand. Yeah.
Dr.
So,
Sanjay.
sir, hello, Pulkit sir. Good evening, and good evening to all of my friends and seniors. Sir, my question is because I heard that you are explaining very nicely, but all these are auto suggestions that something a goal or something a divine or having faith and the surrender. There are high spirited words, but a person needs some exposure to begin with, to believe, have faith. There are higher things. So how do a ordinary person can think of goals when he is into materialism things? Is there a specific way or best just by my self auto suggestion I go about it? That's my question.
No, I think, see, as I explained, for the ordinary person, I think surrender is like the fourth step. But for the ordinary person, I think what we need to first explain to them is that that if they are saying that I have this goal, then why do I have this goal? Like I often ask these people, कोई आके कहे कि I want to be very rich, so I say कि ठीक है, उससे क्या हो जाएगा? Why do you want to be rich? So it's very important to initially make people curious about that. If they have a goal, why do they have this goal? एंड वो गोल अचीव होने से उनकी लाइफ में क्या हो जाएगा, नहीं होने से क्या होगा, सो लाइक व्हेन समवन से आई वांट टू बी रिच एंड यू ask them, so they will have a fantasy, oh, then when I'll be rich, I'll be very important, you know people will like me, people will worship me. Then you'll ask them कि इतना important क्यों है तुम्हारे लिए worshipped होना, admired होना? Why do you need so much importance? So with this kind of self reflection, you will slowly, like you'll sto- you'll slowly make them curious about कि उनकी जो internal needs हैं, what are those internal needs, and you know are those needs right or are they wrong? Because बहुत बार ये भी होता है ना, that I might have a goal and I might be working for it, but my need is very flawed. Like if I'm working on this need that I need to be very famous, because ताकि मुझे कोई भी रिजेक्ट ना करे, so that I become immune to rejection. और बहुत बार ऐसा ही होता है. I'll tell you, when I talk to youngsters and if they are saying that they want to be very famous, and I ask them why do they want to be famous, they'll say, oh, 3-4 people rejected me like this, and if I'm very famous, then no one will reject me. And I laugh and say, "Ki, who says?" I said, even when you are famous, people will still reject you. So you need to really work on these deeper issues with people. Yeah,
We can take one more question. Then we ask whether a speaker is waiting.
sure.
Yes,
Uh,
sir. So, P.S.
yes.
Murthy, you wanted to ask something. Yes, sir.
So you have to unmute yourself, Mr. Murthy.
Sir, you need to unmute yourself, Mr. Murthy.
Murthy ji, please unmute.
I think his question is, Pulkit ji, you have to become Farooq Sheikh to listen to him without he is not speaking with the mic, by the way. So we'll stop it here.
Yes, I
Okay.
think he.
Huh.
Yeah, it is muted now. It is unmuted.
Okay, sir.
Can
Yes,
I?
sir. Please, sir, please.
A small question that for senior citizens, 70 plus, so goals they may have or they may not have. In such a case, then what is the advice from Puneet for senior citizens?
Okay. So then, I mean, I think, as I said, that if someone, especially senior citizens, they may not have goals, but they can still have a vision that now, where do I want my life to be, kind of thing. So I think it's very important. See, because I mean, goals and visions are for every age and stage. They may change. They may change. So, I may have a different vision at 45 years of age. I may have a different vision at 60 years of age. I may have a different vision at 75 years of age. So it's very important to once again see that what is it that you truly want. How do you now want your life to be? Uh, it's very important to think on those lines and to give your life a direction. And I often tell people, I take this very nice example of this actress, Wahida Rahman, who learned wildlife photography at 80 years of age, and she's very good at it. So I say कि 60 or 70 का ये मतलब नहीं है that everything is over. You can still have a vision, you can still have goals. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank
good.
you,
All the best.
Pulkit. Dr. Mr. Murthy. Thanks for
Yeah,
just
yeah,
a paucity of time.
yeah,
In
yeah.
your sim, Pulkit, you have told them in psychological way, in simple way for Dr. Sanjay Sharma and Murthy ji. you leave your home, go somewhere, you open a Google map, can you go without putting destination over there or not? Goal is like this only. If you don't, it won't. A 6-year-old boy or 80-year-old man both requires a journey to be finalized, having a destiny over there. But a Google map will take you somewhere else. Thanks, Pulkit. And if it will be our pleasure if you stay here for the next 2 sessions also, and you would like to listen something on astrology, you are the only odd man out. So you will evaluate what astrology can do it. Thank you, Pulkit, for that part. Yes, Natasha, I can continue with the next
Thank you,
speech.
sir. Thank you, Pulkit sir, for showing us the good, amazing path. Okay, so now कुछ विद्वान केवल knowledge नहीं रखते, they keep traditions alive also. So आज अब हम आमंत्रित कर रहे हैं एक ऐसे विद्वान को जिन्होंने एस्ट्रोलॉजी को सिर्फ स्टडी नहीं किया है बल्कि उसे प्रैक्टिस और रिसर्च के रूप में भी काफी दिया है. So केशव कौशिक जी BR जो कि ICAS बैंगलोर से हैं, very well known practicing astrologer, researcher, mentor with a strong understanding of various branches of astrology. He's especially known for his expertise in Nadi astrology, and his command over RG Rao Nadi system truly sets him apart in the field. He has studied multiple astrological systems in depth and also has a solid understanding of Vaastu Shastra. As an active practitioner, he continues to stay deeply involved in astrological research and learning continuously. His contributions have been recognized with prestigious titles such as Jyotish Vachashpati and Jyotish Kalamani. And sir, I would like to invite you and give you the stage to please take your session ahead.
Thank you, madam. I would like to start this session with a small prayer. रामाय रामभद्राय रामचंद्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताय पते नमः. पूज्याय राघवेंद्राय सत्यधर्मरताय च भजतां कल्पवृक्षाय नमतां कामधेनवे. ರವಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಮಾಂಶಿ ಚಂದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೃಷ್ಣಾಂಶಿ ಕುಜನಲ್ಲಿ ನರಸಿಂಹನಾಗಿ ಬುಧನಲ್ಲಿ ಬುದ್ಧನು ಗುರುವಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಮನ ಶುಕ್ರನಲ್ಲಿ ಪರಶುರಾಮಾಂಶಿಯಾಗಿ ಶನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂರ್ಮನು ರಾಹುಕೇತು ವರಾಹ ಮತ್ಸ್ಯ ಅವತಾರಿಯಾಗಿ ಕಾಯಿತೆ ಭಕ್ತಜನ ನವಗ್ರಹ ರೂಪಾಣಾಂ ನವರತ್ನ ನಮೋ ನಮಃ ನರಸಿಂಹ. I would like to thank Shri Pradeep Chaturvedi ji, Brigadier Sharma ji and Rohini madam for inviting me for this prestigious event. And the title of this talk is given by Brigadier Sharma ji. People will always talk about illness rather than wellness. What is good in the chart lab? Please tell us. So that is what I am going to do. At the same time, this is held in memory of two great stalwarts, Kapoor sir and Kedar sir. I was part of this Patron Memorial in 2020. At that time, when I accompanied Dr. T.S. Vasan, I helped him in his presentation and all. I remember that. When Pradeep sir called, he asked me that you remember, you have my number. From then I have your number, sir. Okay. So it is good that you are doing this. At the same time, I want to, before start, I will try to pay my respects to my gurus, Dr. T.S. Vasan, who taught me to learn from everybody. It may be a student or anybody. And he made us learn under Dr. R.G. Rao, who happens to be one of the greatest Nadi exponent. At the same time, one of the techniques I'm going to give you here is given by one of my guru, Sri Sridhar Desai. So I also wanted to remember him before starting. Okay. Now I will share my PPT. Are you able to see this? My presentation?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, what is Nadi and what is mental wellness. First, we will try to analyze both. Then we will go to some examples. So Nadi, one of the definitions given by one of the authors of Gateway to Astrology book, V. Sitaram Sharma, is the Lord of Tattva is called as Nadi. Many times in terms of medical astrology, this is so much true. I think next speaker is one of the exponent in medical astrology also. So he is shown how this can be used. Tattva, every tattva can be used. Here we are going to apply the rule of what is called as R.G. Rao's method of Nadi astrology, or popularly on the net it is called as BNN. Okay, so that is what we are going to use. So in that there are three variables or three parameters we are going to use. One is Gati, Yuti, and Sthiti. Gati is the transit. As we know how planets travel different houses every year, what is their movement, is there retro, direct, all those things, combust, all those things. Yuti is the conjunction. Nadi takes a different way of conjunction that we will learn here. Sthiti, the placement or the position in the natural zodiac. Thinking in terms of natural zodiac. Vasan sir used to say, like, you have to churn the zodiac to unearth many secrets. Okay, so thinking in terms of natural zodiac will give many insights. So Nadi means Gati, Sthiti, Yuti, and Karaka. You apply all these things to Karaka, then you will get the result. Some of the basics of Nadi is conjunction. Planets in the same directions considered as conjunct. It is not in the same Rashi. Rashi has directions. In the same direction, planets are posited. It is called as conjunct. Aspect is planets in the opposite direction will aspect each other. So what is required for the current presentation, I'm using it. I'm not teaching the whole thing here. What is used, tools used here, that is what I'm teaching here. So you know the north, east, south, west directions assigned to this one. So this starts from the natural zodiac east to this thing. So north aspects south, south aspects north, or east aspects west, or west aspect. This is the Nadi directions. That is what we take. There is an example given here. A planet, you can see east, Jupiter is there, Mars is there, Venus is there. So all are conjunct according to Nadi. All are together. And in the west, only Saturn is positioned. Other two Rashis, there is no planet. So Saturn is alone in the west. So Saturn aspects these three planets, Jupiter, Mars, Venus, and Venus, Jupiter, Mars, Venus aspect North, Saturn. And the same way, Rahu, Moon in north will aspect Sun, Mercury, Ketu in the east, south. So north, south aspect each other. What does our scripture say? Manayeva Manushyanam Karanam Bandhamokshayoho. Mind can bind you to this world, or it can liberate you from this world. That is also there. So this is an important tool. Mental wellness is the ability of a person to get back from problem situation with time, awareness, right effort, without judging or coming to permanent conclusion based on temporary problems. Many times we see we may have some troubles, we will not be able to overcome it, or we will see that trouble in a bigger way that is going to harm us or something else. So people will bog down by those troubles. But mentally well people, or who are very strong people, mentally strong people, they are able to withstand all the obstacles and succeed. What does Ayurveda say? Swasthya. So swasthya is achieved by, like, it is balance of three doshas: body, mind, and spirit. Okay. So whenever there is a harmony is not there, there will be a roga. Whenever harmony is there, there will be no roga, or he will have a balanced mind, balanced body and balanced mind. Here in Nadi we take for mental wellness moon. Mental wellness is seen through moon. Okay, a Karaka Graha. Karaka plays an important role. What does conjunction of moon with different planets say? Moon with sun will be authoritative. Moon with Mars will be impulsive. Moon Mercury intuitive, we can say. Moon Jupiter balanced. Moon Venus creative. Moon with Saturn melancholic. Or you can say sometimes they are more workaholics also, like their bent of mind is like that. Moon Rahu, they call it as Brahma Yoga. On the contrary, they may be highly creative also. Moon Ketu is more spiritual bent of mind. At the same time, moon in different rashis. That is what we makes Nadi. With conjunction is one thing. Another thing is moon in different rashis. How do you read it? Moon in Aries. We are not considering here about the other charts or divisional charts or nakshatras, but only the Rashi position. So these parameters are needed, or this depth of reading is needed. So moon in Aries, where it is, as you know, it is Mars own house, sun's exaltation. They will be aggressive. Moon in Venus house, they will be creative. Here more communicative. Here in Kataka, there will be more balanced, you can say. In Simha, again, they are authoritative. Here it will be calculative. It is an earthy sign. They are grounded. They are not easy to cheat or anything. They are more grounded people, so they are more calculative. They go on their data, statistics, learning, everything. Moon here is more hardworking type or more balanced also. Here we can say is moon is the weakest one. But at the same time, weakest moon, one thing we can observe here, this in this one, Nicha or Uchatva moon. Moon is the only planet that doesn't get Nichatva in Rashi. That is now, it will not go to Nichatva in Naamsha when it is posited in exaltation, the Uchatva position, exaltation position. At the same time, from debilitation position, it cannot go to its exaltation position. All other planets can. Exaltation to debilitation, debilitation to exaltation in Rashi Naamsha. Moon cannot go. That also you can observe. That is why this is the weakest moon. Moon in Sagittarius, they are more proactive people. Moon in Kataka. Nadi says Mars as a technical planet. Moon in Mars exaltation position. Their mind works technically. Okay, so they are more dependent on, they may be tech savvy people also. So you can think of many things connecting Moon, Mars, and Saturn there. Moon in Kumbha is a deep thinker or secretive. That also I can think. Moon in Mithuna, Meena, we can say it is blissful or it is spiritual of bent of mind. Why spiritual? R.G. Rao used to say, this is Kala Purusha, means the Meena is the father of Sriman Narayana. Okay, it is also Guru's position. Mind at the feet of Guru. What will happen? Venus exalts here, no? Venus is Karaka Graha for again Saman or our bodily energy that has highest potency here, where bodily energy is driven towards its highest potency at the feet of God with the direction of a Guru. That is what we can think in terms of moon in different rashis in different in the natural zodiac. This is a special lagna. It is from Shukanadi. It is called as Punya Lagna. So what we have to do is find out the lagna degrees in which pada it is there. Lagna posited and count the same number of houses from lagna. Also check the same degrees in the in that house and find out the lord of that nakshatra pada. Now count the same number of house from the lord of nakshatra. So for example, you can take the nakshatra pada of lagna, say Meena. Lagna is in Revati nakshatra, last pada. So it is the 9th pada in Meena. So count 9 houses from Meena, it is Scorpio. So take 9th pada in Scorpio, that is Jeshta nakshatra, last pada. Who is the Lord? Lord is Mercury. So if Mercury is in, check that in the example case in this, it is in Gemini. From Gemini, Mercury is in Gemini. From Gemini, 9 from Mercury, that is Gemini is Aquarius. Hence Aquarius becomes Punya Lagna. Don't worry if there is any confusion, it will be sorted out in the example charts. So what does Nadi teach? How to go about it using these two parameters, that is Karaka Graha and Punya Lagna. So mental wellness is seen through moon, conjunction of planets with moon. That is what we are going to see. Aspect on moon. Moon's position in natural zodiac. Punya Lagna or Lagnadipati having PAC with moon or 4th house or its lord. All these parameters we are going to use in the coming charts. This is, as we know, one of the famous sports person. The Lagna is rising in the east, 8 degree 44 minutes. It is the 3rd pada in this Rashi. From here we have to count the 3 houses. It becomes Kumbha. In Kumbha, the 3rd pada falls in Shatabisha Nakshatra, that is Rahu's Nakshatra. Rahu is posited here only, in Kumbha only. From here again you are going to count 3. 1, 2, 3. Mesha becomes Punya Lagna. Mesha becomes Punya Lagna. Okay. First we will analyze through the only Karaka method, that is moon is posited in southern direction and Venus and Jupiter are all are southern. So moon is conjunct with Jupiter, Venus and moon are conjunct. So moon is in a very calculative, grounded Rashi, Ardhi Rashi. Okay, so Jupiter is in connection to moon, so he will have a balanced mind. Venus is there, again it is a creative one. Also see, you can see is Nadi also takes Parivartana. Jupiter, Venus, Mercury, Parivartana is there. Mercury moon combination we told as intuitive. You have to think what is going to we are going to get next, how the opponent will play, which ball is going to bowl, or what is the strategy is going to make. You have to be ahead of all those things. You should have that connection, Mercury moon, where you should be intuitive enough to analyze the opponent, analyze the situation you are going through. Okay, at the same time, this moon is aspected by Mars, Karaka Graha, for aggression. We have seen the aggressive part of him. At the same time, he is more balanced also. It is how that balance aggression comes, because it is with moon is with Venus and Jupiter, and Parivartana also Mercury comes, that intuitive ability also connects to his moon. Okay, here another pointer from Punya Lagna is Punya Lagnadipati is aspecting the moon, the Karaka Graha. We said Karaka Graha or Bhava, that is fourth house, or Lord, which connects to Punya Lagnadipati, then he will have a mental wellness, or he is able to face the extreme troubles and succeed. So here Mars as Punya Lagnadipati is aspecting the moon Venus, as well as moon, as well as it is sitting in the fourth house, which denotes mind or manas. So this is one famous person. This is a normal householder, a housewife. In this case, Lagna is at 28 degrees. So the last pada of this Lagna, that is, then it is ninth pada. Count 9 houses, it comes to Vrushabha. In Vrushabha again, ninth pada is Mars Nakshatra, that is Mrugashira Nakshatra. See where Mars is sitting. Mars is sitting in Vrishchika. Again count 9 houses from there. This becomes Kataka, becomes Punya Lagna. So where is Punya Lagnadipati is posited means it is sitting in the 10th house. Okay. So it is sun with moon. It shows more authoritative, communicative, all those things. At the same time, this moon becoming a Punya Lagnadipati and aspecting fourth house makes this person to face many troubles and be victorious finally. Why I am telling about all these things is, she is a married person. After her marriage, she has to quit her job. She was having a high paying software professional. She left her job to take care of her family. Her husband started, after some time, he started having some mental issues, something related to schizophrenia or bipolar disease or something like that. Then she has to take care of her mother. After some time, her mother's sister, younger sister, fell ill. Her own children abandoned her. She took care of her also. She was a bedridden patient. Instead of getting a help maid or something, she used to do all the things. Here, moon as a Karaka Graha for mother, emotional abilities and all. He is aspecting fourth house. That has given her extraordinary ability, extra ability to take care for others. So here connection with fourth house is also important. So this is one chart. This is another chart of Bharata Ratna Sarayam Vishveshwaraya. You may see this. The Lagna is in the second pada. Second to this house is Kataka. Second pada in Kataka is again Saturn, so Nakshatra Pushya. So Saturn is posited in Simha. From there, second house becomes the Punya Lagna. Here for him, Punya Lagna and Lagnadipati both are same. Okay, Punya Lagnadipati is same and Lagnadipati is same. So he was, and in Nadi angle, regular Karakatva directions angle, Mercury is conjunct moon, sun, moon, Mercury together. He is authoritative as well as intuitive. Mercury moon connection. It is called as Mercury moon connection. Conjunction is called as Rajahamsa Yoga in Nadi. Okay, they may have intuitive line. Somebody is interested in a palmistry, they can see Mercury moon connection. They may have intuitive line connecting moon mount and Mercury mount also. Many times Nadi talks about the chakras or signs in the hand, how it is posited, all those things. Okay, moon Mercury will give intuitive ability. So what this person has achieved is like he was instrumental in Krishnaraja Sagara Dam. He was instrumental in the first hydroelectric power project in Karnataka. That is why Bangalore is the first city where we got electricity in whole of Asia. And he was instrumental in setting up many industries like Mysore Sandal soap, famous factory, and Bhadravati iron and steel factory, so many things. At the same time, Sri Jayachamrajendra Polytechnic, he started somewhere in 1940s. Like he was instrumental in that because it is the biggest polytechnic which teaches more than 15 subjects, different subjects. Okay, from core engineering subjects to like cinematography or ceramics or welding and sheet metal, something like that, textile, so many things they teach. So you are able to contribute to not only your generation, you are able to think the problems of future generation and solve it. That is the ability he had. That's why he got Bharata Ratna. At the same time, he is also one of the persons who is instrumental in like laying road, that is Tirumala Tirupati road on the hill. There is a ghat section. That road was designed by him also. So he has done so many achievements. Why that achievement? Why that thinking will come? Why you are able to think ahead of your time? This Mercury moon, Rajahamsa Yoga or intuitive ability has given. At the same time, what is added flavor is Mercury becoming the Lord of Punya Lagna. That has given him the extraordinary mental ability to think. People say now also many people here in our city say like he was doing calculus even at the age of solving two problems of calculus at the age of 90 or so. That's what it is. Now also, if I think of calculus, I will get shivers. But the person he can solve that kind of a mathematical subject at that age is extraordinary. So this has given Punya Lagna is given all the capability to solve problem and see through future also. This is one of the chart of a Vedic scholar. Here his Lagna is again Kanya Lagna. It is in 9th Pada. Here 9th Pada falls in Mars Nakshatra. Where is Mars? Mars in Aries. Punya Lagna is Sagittarius. From this Lagna, it is the 4th house. Okay, so first we will see the Karaka Graha angle. Moon Venus, a creative person connected to Rahu. So Moon Venus Rahu in Nadi is called as Rasika Yoga, or you will have finer taste for life, or finer taste in whatever you do. Okay, you will like to do whatever you do in an extreme way or in very good way. So this Venus Moon Rahu is in south. In the north we have Jupiter Ketu. Controlled by this finer taste is controlled by Jupiter and Ketu, which is more of spiritual and balanced energies. So this is controlling his mind. And it is also, you can see that Punya Lagna Lord is Jupiter aspecting his moon. What is his capability? He is a Vedic scholar who has got many awards and all. At the same time, what is his skill is he remembers whole Rig Veda. He says 52 hours it will take to chant whole Rig Veda. At the same time, he has given many discourses, authored many 20 or more books, translation he has done. At the same time, whenever he talks about a book, means he will refer to that book. At the same time, author, different authors, what is the page number they have written, and if there is any thing related to that, anecdote related to that, that also he can tell. So he can just talk through all the scriptures. He has written only a book on Om, or describing where Om is written, all those things, how Om will give you what is the meaning of Om, all those things. He has written many books like that. So he is the person who has got extraordinary intelligence also, memory capacity also. He can recall any book material within no time. He doesn't need Google like us or ChatGPT like us. For me, it is needed. Many of scholars may not need. Sorry. So for me, it is needed, but for him, it is not needed. Whatever the subject he wants to talk, he will impromptu. He can talk for hours. This is the capacity. Here, Jupiter becoming the Punya Lagnadipati, fourth lord becoming the kind of Punya Lagnadipati, is aspecting the moon. At the same time, fourth house itself is Punya Lagna, and you add your regular analysis like Buddhaditya Yoga and Punya Lagna, all those things. So he is very good at it. Okay. Coming back to this Virat Kohli chart, Punya Lagnadipati is Mars. For some people to do some research or something, I'm giving this analogy or pointers. See, Mars denotes which direction? Southern direction. He plays for Bangalore's RCB or Royal Challenger. Again, Ra, it is Mars Nakshatra. So many things are connected. Okay. Okay, thank you. Any questions I will take.
Thank you so much, sir. It was an insightful session. In fact, we were not aware about such insightful details about moon and Nadi astrology, and it made us, actually the session made us realize that okay, this is the next step. Let's enroll for Nadi also. It is very interesting. And as you said, harmony is there, then there's no roga. But yes, moon is the one which drives, and the combination you mentioned, moon Mars, moon Venus, it is really, really helpful for us in Parashari also. So thank you so much for such an insightful session. If anybody has any questions, we would like to take that. Sandeep ji, yes, please.
Hello, sir. Just a question.
Can you
Simple question.
open your video, Sandeep? Can you open your video also so we can see your
Yes,
face?
sir. Sure.
The thumb rule says that at least we know who is asking question to us.
Yeah. Sure. So, Namaste, Guruji. Just a simple question, like, is that moon is implicated in societal behavior?
Yes, it is there. It is there. Even whenever you moon Mars connection is there, it will give you extreme aggression. In palmistry also, moon line or headline going to moon mount, connection between moon and Mars will create, it is called as duping headline. It will give you suicidal tendency also. Okay. So there are many things, but my interest of area is always wellness or something good. I don't want to talk about negative things. Brigadier Sharma ji has given me a right title and right this opportunity. I would like to thank you.
I've gone through many literatures, like they have mentioned that the new moon and this full moon has been associated with most of the accidental death. Like, so that's that's why I asked. Like,
You have to see the longevity for the accidental death. It happens at the age of 80. What you will do? What is that reading will do for you? It doesn't matter.
that depends. Yeah. Yes. Sir. Yes. So, and one more question, like if moon is in the sixth house, like so, whether that implies that it should be is it that like literally weak, like you have to go through competition and suffering in the life?
See, any Karaka Graha going to Adusthana is bad, but my forte here actually. When I teach in Nadi also, like I will not take Lagna into consideration, only position and conjunction. That's all. That from there
Okay.
we try to analyze. Okay. Then it will make more clear. Only analyzing through Nadi, I'm saying. When you are analyzing through Karaka Graha in Adusthana, definitely it is a bad. See, whenever Karaka is the taste of life, taste of that Karakatva. Okay. Bhava is the ingredient. Bhavadipati is the finished product, like anything. Okay, take samosa, whatever the ingredients related to samosa is the bhava. Adipati is the whole samosa together. The taste is given by the Karaka Graha. If Karaka Graha is in Dustana, you will not get the taste of it. That's all.
Okay. Adipati is the Lord, you know. You mean?
Yes. Karaka Graha in Adustana, you will not get the taste. Simple.
So today you got some puddings on the pizza. You can taste it later on also. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone have any
Yes.
that part?
Yes.
Our speakers are so disciplined and meticulous that they have given the
He's there. Deep is there.
5 minutes question time for the question and answer. Kaushik sir has covered in within that time period and given the 5 minute question for question and answer. You can take one more question if we are there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Deep is already joined, sir.
I know. Natasha, you can carry forward.
Thank you
Thank
so much, Mr. Sir. It was a wonderful session, and we got to know insights about the Punne Lagna also. Thank you so much. Now, uh, I would like to talk about a third speaker who's like, some people do not just acquire knowledge, they dedicate their lives to preserving and sharing it. So आज हम स्वागत करने जा रहे हैं एक ऐसे व्यक्तित्व का जो who has been continuously and consistently contributing to the promotion and education of astrology. It is my privilege to introduce our esteemed speaker, Mr. Pradeep Gauravai, ICAS Honorary National Secretary, and is a former banker with Citibank, bringing him with over 20 years of rich corporate experience. His journey reflects a seamless transition from corporate world to the spiritual sciences, carrying forward discipline, structure, and clarity. In 2013, he has become a part of Indian Astrological Sciences and since then, he has been actively contributing to astrology, education, training, and organizational leadership skills also. A dedicated astrologer, educator, and an organizer. He is also associated with ICAS Bangalore chapter, and where he mentors students, share his deep knowledge in astrology, palmistry, Vaastu, Nadi, Nakshatra, and as Sir mentioned, medical as well. His contribution goes far beyond administrative responsibility. He's actively involved in teaching, learning, community development, of course, and he has also authored several insightful research papers published in Modern Astrological Magazine, covering fascinating topics such as creativity, excellence in profession, Rahu and pandemic, transit and moon, as we spoke about moon a lot in previous session, and of course the sudden events and deeper insights into longevity and planetary dynamics. His work reflects a strong commitment to structural learning, ethical practice, and authentic propagation of Vedic astrology. His journey is truly a beautiful blend of corporate excellence and spiritual wisdom. So let us all welcome him on the stage. Sir, stage is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Natasha ji. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, thank you for the Noida chapter for inviting me, Brigadier Shah. Thank you very much. And Pradeep Chaturvedi Saab, he didn't even give me an option. He said, you have to come. And when he says you have to come, I have to come. So he's a very dear colleague of mine who loves me. So I'm here today presenting my perspective on the theme that the Noida chapter has been working on. I'm given to understand that many people have come and presented their perspective or shared their knowledge on the topic or the theme that has been set. Today I'm going to speak about how to align the mind to the cosmic rhythm. While this is a very broad topic, our job is to align it to the sciences that we are actually associated with and see how we can make sense of what we have been learning and bring it to our daily life. So the next half an hour, I'll try and give some perspective on some of the what you call lesser used parameters in astrology. First, we will see what requires or what is the mind made of, and what makes it disturbed, and what may make it aligned to the cosmic rhythm. In three parts, we will go. I'm not going to take much time. I'll also share a couple of horoscopes, which may, I hope, will give a little different perspective in terms of for the students to think and go dwell further into the research. So to
I
begin
hope
with,
the PPT is available.
yeah, PPT is available. Can I get the control? Because there's some animations. If I have the control, it'll be better.
Pradeep ji, if you want, you can share yourself. Control will be with you part of it.
Okay, I will.
If you want, you can share yourself also.
Should
Or
I stop sharing?
Is my presentation visible?
yeah, they're visible. You
Yes,
can
sir.
have full control of yours.
Okay, thank you. This will help. Now, the topic that we are going to talk about is aligning the mind to cosmic rhythm. Now, when we look at when we read scriptures in depth, there's one particular text called Shiva Swarodaya Shastra. In that, it's clearly mentioned that creation takes place due to the tattvas, and by them it is sustained. It's very clearly they say that any creation that happens, it takes care, it's taken birth due to the tattvas and sustained because of it. Now, further in the tantras like Tantra Raja Tantra, the Shakti asks the Shiva as to where do all the tattvas exist, in the body or out of it. This is something I think many students also might be having a question. And the answer clearly given in the text by Shiva to the Shakti is tattvas permeate the entire body and mind. And hence, everything that we do and think is under the influence of these tattvas. This is the first thing that we need to understand. So if we have to see what is the nature of the mind, we have to go to the root cause and understand how these evolution started. So I'm sure you all are aware of this, the subtlest to grossest journey of the elements starts from the ether, which is a very high intuition energy, where sound began, and because of the vibration of the sound, the air started, and then because of the movement started with the air, and then friction started, The fire is a result. And after the fire, the moment decreased. As the moment decreases, the element starts getting grosser and grosser. So ether is the subtlest and earth is the grossest. If the mind has to be aligned to the cosmic rhythm, we have to study these elements in the horoscope as to what proportion, whether there is any imbalance or whether there is any balance. The balance or the imbalance that these tattvas indicate is already a predisposition for an individual's birth. As we all know, anything born at the moment carries the quality of the moment. So let us take today, for example. Today is a day, Sunday, and by now, I think the Maka Nakshatra might be ending and a Purva Palguni Nakshatra might be starting. And Ekadashi Tithi must have started. Now, Ekadashi Tithi is known for fire. Sunday is for fire. And then your Nakshatra, either Maka or Purva Palguni, is of fire. So there is fire running at multiple levels. So any kid born at this moment is carrying a excess fire in the mind, or is made out of excess fire element. So the mind is already predisposed to this element. Same thing goes for any other element that is there. A study of these elements and the proportion at which it is given will tell you what is the predisposition of the mind, whether the person is stable or whether the person is eccentric, he's got some gift of gab in terms of high intuition, high movement, or very gross elements are there in his mind. That's about earth. Now, how do we use this? The Panchanga distribution, or the Pancha Angas that we see, the 5 limbs of the nature, gives us a subtle clue on how do we distribute this. The ether goes to the yoga of the day. The air goes to the nakshatra of the day, as per the shloka. The fire goes to the Varadipati, fire element. So this is very important. The day that we are born, the element of it is a final clue as to how what will be the health condition or what will be the health problem. Like somebody born on a Wednesday, like a Adi Tattva is dominating at some level. Somebody born on a Tuesday, the fire Tattva comes into forefront and things and alive. Here, this is very important to us. The Tithi is for a water element, and any understanding of the mind should start from here. This is the most important element. That is why Tithi, Vara, Nakshatra is taken very seriously in Panchangas or Muhurta texts, which is also used in prediction. The combination of Tithi, Vara, Nakshatras will give out some result, which is what I'll share 1 or 2 examples. So if we have to understand the mind of a person, this Tithi is very important, which is ruled by watery element. Understanding of the Tithis itself, if we conduct a class on it, it will take about a year to complete. In fact, we don't know. In the future, ICAS may start. But understanding in depth of a Tithi gives you a complete view of mind disposition of an individual. And Karana goes to earth. Now, what do we need in this is highlight on the Tithi. These are the Tithis. We all know that. We have all studied it. Maybe we have not gone in depth. Some of us, or maybe we have all. Some of you all know about it. The Nanda Tithis, which are nothing but 1611, will be ruled by fire, are ruled by fire. The 2, 7, 12 are Bhadra Tithis, Dvitiya, Saptami, and Dvadashi. Jaya Tithis are 3, 8, and 13. And your Rikta Tithis are 4, 9, and 14. Your Chaturthi, Navami, Chaturdashi is all little complicated days. And Purna Tithis, 5, 10, 15, like a Panchami, Dashami, Paurnami day. This, I've just given you a glimpse where you all have studied in the Muhurta. Each of these tithis will have to be understood whether it's a Krishna Paksha Tithi or a Shukla Paksha Tithi for in-depth analysis of the mind. Right now, what we will do is we will take a gist of it and understand how do we proceed further. Whenever these elements are in excess, there will be some sort of a disturbance to the mind. First, what we have done, we have understood what is the origin of this mind. It's all controlled by the elements. Now we come and see what disturbs it or what accentuates it. If there is excess other quality running at multiple levels of an individual, there can be lack of grounding. You know, you might have heard some people saying that the dizziness, spinning, and they feel floating. They don't feel the ground at all. They feel when they are stressed, the nervous system shaking inside. They just feel disassociated. Either they're overly optimistic or they're just lost. They're just not in present. There is like void inside which they are not able to express. Naturally, the issue may start with the ears. Like people will start diagnosing it as vertigo. They're treating it for vertigo, but it is not going. Many things happen. This is even subtler than an air. It's very difficult to diagnose. So an afflicted Jupiter, and in any which way we have also understood the tithi that is related to this has happened. So the individual is struggling with this kind of a thing. But don't mistake, this also is a very high energy zone, very high intuition element that it can give. So people with great saintly abilities, intuitive abilities, breaking all boundaries and moving, achieving enormous amount of success also comes from this. So excess of this at multiple levels will create lack of grounding. Likewise, excess of air will create restlessness. He is not able to rest at one place. There's movement always. And consistent movement without rest will cause a little bit of anxiety, insomnia, dissociation. He is not able to sleep. He's not able to stay at one place. There's always a bit of a insecurity with the current situation that he is dealing with. Now there is fire. Always excess fire, like what day today that we are looking at, will lead to burnout. Excess fire, even if you put a loaf of a bread to have a toast, beyond 10 seconds, if you give it heat, the bread is going to get burnt out. The same way, excess fire at multiple levels, especially for male individuals. Female individuals can still take because the body is made out of fire, earth and water. If you look at horoscope or zodiac signs per se, the earth and water are feminine signs. The female body will still be able to take excess fire, but not the male body. So sooner or later, the burnouts will happen. Excess anger, aggression, ego, impatience, all those things comes into picture. And if somebody is running it in their mind at multiple levels, in their chart at multiple levels, early retirement, nervous system taking a beating, many health issues come into forefront. They just cannot take stress, so they will seek isolation very early. They seek solitude very early. They'll just go stay at one place. They just don't want to meet anyone. Kind of a situation comes into picture. Water, fear of abandonment, dependency, over emotional, flooding. There's no activity. So these individuals require a push. These individuals are always dependent on somebody because the water is running at multiple levels. There's no fire. Unless there is a fire, you're not getting up and moving. There's no willpower. In just what is it trying to say is everything in a proportionate quantity makes an individual very successful. Any of these things in disproportionate quantity will put the individual into a very difficult circumstances. He's fighting all throughout. Now excess earth, one, it may give you very consistency, perseverance and things like that, but otherwise it's rigid emotions. That's why the classical texts speak, if earthy level dominates at multiple levels, he may be successful, but it's also poisonous. So what do they mean? Both the shlokas is he may take, or he or she may take poisonous route to be successful, because earth makes at some level when it becomes poison, very self-centered, stubborn. They may take wrong routes. All of these are mind related issues. When we categorize mind related issues, we will have to be very careful as to how we categorize it. Everything that we study outside the subject on mind, theoretically whatever we study, has to have an objective view, and that objective view is Jyotisha. Like if I go to an MBA, a B school MBA, if I learn the subject very well, theoretically I have learned many things, but only when I enter into a job, I know how to apply it. There we use the data. The data is the eyes for the theory that I have learned. Same way, what is this individual made of? Theory I know about how the mind will get afflicted, moon is afflicted, that is afflicted. But you have only horoscope can give you that kind of an insight as to this is the direction individual has to move. The individual is afflicted with such and such a possibility, like excess water running, excess fire running, excess ether is a problem. Then what happens? You have gotten into the specifics. Then it will become easy to start addressing an individual's problem. That is the use of a Jyotisha. So we'll have to learn Jyotisha in depth and apply it and understand where do I stand, what am I made of, or what is the individual whom you are studying made of, and where he can move. So this overall perspective will give you anything in excess of this will become a problem. Let us take, I'll give you one more example. The fire and the ether. You take Mars and Jupiter. Now you take classical slokas telling you Jupiter and Mars in Lagna Saptama, Mati Brahmana Yoga. It says Mati Brahmana Yoga. Why do they say that? Jupiter and Mars are friends. Why do they give that kind of a situation? The Mars will be the fire. It wants, and the Jupiter is the ether, which controlling Akasha. Akasha is equal to Avakasha. Now this Akasha Tattva or Jupiter does not contain the fire, but it only spreads it. Some of you might have heard researches on Kuja Dosha somebody have done, or on cancer researches somebody has done. When Jupiter gets involved in a particular affliction, it just spreads. Well, that is not the way to look at it, but you'll have to go in depth and understand it. Here it is like the fire that is stoked by Jupiter, by the Mars, is just spread by Jupiter. There is no containment. Something else has to come and contain it. Like for example, fire and air, Saturn and Mars, Sonmadaka Yoga. These are the ones, like if Saturn is in the Lagna and Mars is in the 5, 7, 9 houses, the native gets mental derangement. What are they saying it? Why are they saying it? The airy element is getting mixed up with a fiery element. And 5, 7, 9, we know whenever Mars is in a 5, 7, 9, it is called as Vata Roga. It afflicts the mind of a person. There is naturally restlessness. It just doesn't know to rest. That's a predisposition of an individual. He's born with it. No other science will give you that kind of a alert so early. When the kid is born, you're able to diagnose this. This is what it is. The energy is very high in the mind. What needs to be done? That's a different story altogether. But you already have a data on your hand. That's what these shlokas also tell you. Like Mati Brahmana Yoga. Malefics in 6th house, Moon, Mercury in Dusthanas aspected by malefics. Simple. Your 6th house is nothing but 6th sign, which is Adi sign. And Moon, Mercury are also Adi. They get, what you call exalted. They have their Mula Trikonas in Adi. And when all of them come there, get afflicted by malefics, there's naturally affliction to the mind. The individual is dreading any change. He wants everything to be how he perceives the life as. Paisachi Yoga, one of the most dangerous yogas you see. Moon, Mercury in a Kendra, unrelieved by any benefics. In a Kendra to each other as well as Kendra to the Lagna. You will not even know. The individual is absolutely fine. He's a very good B school guy or is working, is a doctor. But it is impossible to live with such individuals. It's called Paisachi Yoga. Many dictators had it. Even Saddam Hussein had it. Kemadruma, lack of mental peace. Again, two malefics. Having a Kemadruma to the Lagna. There are many such yogas like that. Like Vanchana Chora Bhiti Yoga. If Lagna Lord is with Rahu or Ketu, there's fear. Unknown, unseen fear. There's already running. The fear is running in the mind. So understanding these tattvas makes it very, very important before we even go into the moon. While moon will give you very clear picture of what is happening, but the first basics, when you start the horoscope, before you jump into it, you need to understand the panchangas, especially Titi Vara Nakshatra, and you have to have an understanding of it. Once you get a gist on it, you are in a perfect control of that horoscope as to understand where it is moving. It is only after studying this you will have to jump into any yogas, because unless the mind is stable, no yogas can be functional, because the individual himself is not in a position to handle it, operate it. Right? So I'll just couple of illustrations I'll show. You see, Shushmita Sen's horoscope. This is the time that is available in the internet, and a couple of predictions made on stage in Bangalore whenever we did AGM, or I think MCM or AGM, I think 4-5 years back. It came true. So I have every reason to believe this is the right time. I will only show this. She's born on a Krishna Paksha Pratipada, Vara Tuesday, Nakshatra Kritika. So fire at multiple levels. Now what happens? This is an imbalance of fire. The individual will soon burn out. So one of the things that will happen with excess fire at multiple levels is the individual don't want to take any more stress from another person. excess fire always burns down the relationships around you and burns the individual as well. So all the time, whenever you go to scriptures also, whosoever had excess fire, anger in them, they always kept themselves isolated. They always sought solitude. So solitude will be the remedy for them to keep the mind calm, to come under control. Otherwise, nervous breakdowns, relationship breakdowns, many collateral damages to health will be a possibility. Second one, here moon is also in a dusthana. Although it's exalted, moon is also in a dusthana. Mars is in the 9th house. So because of the excess energy and also whatever possibility of picking up an anxiety or a vata roga, the individual will be very happy living by herself as opposed to getting into another relationship, which can be very, very stressful. And when fire dominates, burning down relationships will become very easier because of the anger, because of the stress. Now, understanding this specific thing will put an individual in a fantastic position to control that. They just know, okay, I'm running this. This is the specific area that I need to work on. Second one, Howard Hughes, a billionaire who went insane. He just went mad because he was very scared of these worms. He picked up this fear that worms will attack him. And he had this problem touching the door, touching a gate, or touching whatever. It gets grew on him. And see, let us what happens. Krishna Chaturdashi, one of the most complicated days to handle is Chaturdashi days. Sunday and a Jyeshta Nakshatra. Now you look at, it's made out of water, fire, and earth. Will make it overactive mind. What is very important is that the classical texts tell you, if you're born on a Sunday and a Krishna Chaturdashi and a Jyeshta Nakshatra, which is like your water, fire, and earth, related to these planets, it's a Vinasha Yoga. And what does Vinasha Yoga tell you? Falling apart from within. The discrimination or the buddhi of yours is just collapsing inside every single day. Before I even went there, I have this kind of a disposition already known by these tattvas. Now I come here, it becomes so easy. Saturn and Mars in the 7th house, which is what was telling the horoscope, the classical texts were telling. Two tattvas, fire and air, are having a big tug of war here. Moon and Mercury in a Kendra, again afflicted by Saturn. 6th Lord Saturn. Now you have Moon afflicted, you have Mercury afflicted, you have Lagna afflicted, you have Saturn and Mars in the 7th house. There is huge tattva imbalance. When you put all the yogas, no matter what the money he had, he went insane, completely insane. You can Google about him and read and understand that. So this moon is what we are trying to understand. This mind of the person is what we are trying to understand. In relation to this sun, whenever we consider Tithi, we are not leaving out these two as well. We are merging it. What is the resultant of it? It's a Chaturdashi day, Krishna Paksha Chaturdashi day. This has its own kind of a result. So understanding Tithi is one way. Second way is to know these tattvas. All classical dictums have been derived out of basis these tattvas. That's what even the Shivaswarodaya Shastra tells you, Tantra Rajatantra tells you, normal astrological classics tells you that studying these tattvas will give you an upper hand in understanding what the individual is made of. How does the alignment happens? This is the most important part of it. how does this elemental balance happens? If there is an imbalance in this tattva, grounding has to be practiced. The individual has to psychologically ground himself, physiologically ground himself by building a routine, walking, possibly having a walk barefooted, developing a adi tattva, slowing down, adding a little purpose, building a little bit of emotional connections and things like that. Excess air, awareness, responsibility, most importantly, breathing techniques. Unless the breathing is coming under control, nothing will come under control. Because the amount of air that we inhale goes through tremendous amount of change inside once it enters the body. And the amount of air we exhale, if we start controlling it, the speed of it, if we start controlling it, it will do wonders to the individual. That is the pranayama technique, where you're not breathing like a dog. Once the breath comes under control, the health comes under control, and hence the longevity also improves. This is why hundreds of techniques are there in longevity, yet sometimes we fail to pinpoint exactly the same for this individual, because ultimately the longevity goes to the number of breaths as per Patanjali Sutras. The number of breaths the individual is destined to take. If he improves that with his behavior, with all the knowledge that he picks up with the subjects like Jyotisha or related subjects or even higher subjects, he is doing good for himself in terms of living healthily. Fire, cooling foods, most importantly, avoiding stimulants, not having excess exercise, moderation. Most importantly, resting, isolation, or solitude. If this individual is not resting, sooner or later, permanent rest will come. When the fire elements like this work predominantly in the mind for a longer duration like this in excess levels, you don't see them finishing their careers. They'll just quit and come midway. Because what you have to take the heat for 40 years, you have taken it for 20 years, and you're no longer in a position to take it. You're done. That is why balance is the key. Water, building routine, having a motivation, having clear boundaries. This can have a huge dependency problem. They're just dependent on somebody for their emotions because it's emotional flooding is happening. And if the detachment is practiced, purpose-driven goals are given, then the alignment starts happening. But he needs to have that kind of a understanding is what I am trying to say. So we can't fit one remedy or one theory to every individual. Every individual is made out of something. That understanding we need to have. Next, earth. Most importantly, practice letting go. They just cannot accept change. And the change is the inevitable process in life. Nothing is linear in life. Even the river, road, trees, the time, everything is non-linear. Life also will be non-linear. And if these individuals expect that everything has to be the way they have planned, naturally anxiety will set in, because change is the inevitable process. Accept change. Most importantly, avoid stagnation. That's why you see when these tattvas run very high, they're very loyal, consistent in what they do, but they dig so deeper into the earth. It's the own mud that they dig will start falling on them. They fail to come out of it. So Jyotisha gives you beautiful insights like this as to what is happening. What sometimes experts like psychiatrists or coaches or whatnot may take multiple sessions to understand what this individual is made of. It just gives you in a jiffy if you approach it in the right manner. Finally, the scripture tells you your mind is equal to Kamadhenu, wish fulfilling cow, which is what been explained with the stories of Vashishta having a wish fulfilling cow, Jamadagni having a wish fulfilling cow. Whatever you want, and if you're working on your mind sincerely, regularly, it will come to you. But it depends on what you ask for. What is that you are seeking? So be very wise on what you seek. Because just like in Jamadagni story, whatever you seek very intensely may become a problem later. That is why this mind alignment is very, very important into the cosmic one. They have to each individual has to understand what exactly, which path do I exactly need to proceed. Let us take, for example, somebody is born on an Ashtami day. Ashtami is a day where you don't sit and manifest. It's not a day like other thithis where energies are very easy. It's an erratic energy. It's very fast. That's why it's called as Tvarita, quick. When the mind is racing, it's a day of introspection. It's a day of reflection. Sit back and understand where things are going wrong. Calm down the energies. And if that day, if you are expecting something, first of all, you're not standing stable. And it's an unstable mind that is manifesting something. So these clues classical text gives you. Which are the calm days? Which are the eccentric days? How this needs to be approached? What sort of a mind you have? Whether you have an exalted moon or a debilitated moon. What is the biggest difference between exalted moon and a debilitated moon? Exalted moon has perfect grounding. Debilitated moon has no grounding. The debilitated moon goes through massive transformation. More and more shocks, transformation through accidents, surgeries, losses. Finally, if the chart has good yogas, there is a transformation that is happening. The exalted moon is not. It's already in a pole position to understand. That is why your classic text tells you exalted moon. From mid-age onwards, the individual is very happy. It will take some time. There will be some difficult situations, difficult learnings that will be given for exalted moon at the beginning of their life. Once they move into the mid-age, they are in a perfect rhythm. They have understood what works best for them. So instead of just seeing it as a moon, we have to go in depth into the moon and say what this individual is made of, what the properties that he is picking up. Some of the remedies, sattvic diet. The sattvic mind frees you from all bondages. And it is only freeing yourself from all bondages of reckless desires, running helter-skelter, is the powerful way, only powerful method to align yourself to the cosmic rhythm. I want that, I want this, I want this, I want that, I want to achieve this. If you keep on having the desire, there will be disturbance. You will never be able to align yourself. So the food is the first god. What you eat, what you think, you will become that. So that is why there's so much of emphasis given on the right set of food. Tons and tons of books have been written in Ayurveda as to what is the book, what is the right set of food that one needs to have. This will define the mind. This will set the platform for the mind to be free of all the malices. Pranayama. breathing, slowing down the breath. Once the breath comes under control and the mind is stable, anything is possible. Any problem can be sorted out. Normally, issues happen when there is a panic, like a fear of what's going to come, or fear of what has happened before. Nothing is in the present. Mind is not in the present. So the breath is the important one. Next, regular physical exercises. What the previous generation followed with the Hatha Yoga, this is also the regular, some form where sweat is happening. The individual is sweating. The mind has to be treated like abdomen. The abdomen takes in food, stores the energy, lets out whatever that is not required. The mind also is the same thing. Takes in new knowledge, takes in new experiences. Whatever that is not required should be let out. So every single day, whosoever has this kind of habit of regularly, not too much, just in moderation, will start coming back to the rhythm. Hydration. You read deeper and deeper into tantras, a lot of emphasis has been given on hydration. And now you see neurosurgeons coming and talking about dehydration is a very big problem in the, for individuals having brain related issues. And as the classics spoken about it, absolutely. Saturn in Aries, dehydration. Excess fire, somebody is running an excess fire. There's no hydration. The fire is just burning down the water inside the body, which means it is just burning down below the abdomen. Urinary system problem, that problem, this problem, everything will start. Hydration. This is like rejuvenates the mind. You see many people today, dietitians and your physical coaches or whatever fitness coaches, they all keep talking about this. But Jyotisha had spoken about it long back. Dehydration. Saturn in Aries. When Saturn is debilitated, is a big cause of one of this thing. And somebody is born in Nanda Tithis, like 1, 6, 11, they have to ensure that they hydrate themselves very, very well, because the fire is running at multiple levels. Higher text for better perspective. In Kerala, we were told that there were days like Ramayana days, when 2-3 months it was raining continuously. There cannot be a better text for mankind. Whosoever is in align with the text, their life changes. So something like that, or anything of that matter, whichever, if someone else, some other religious person is practicing astrology, even whatever that appeals to them, where their particular sect or guru has written something, higher text for better perspective, which will calm down. That is why people who study Jyotisha in a proper channel, proper way, their karma will never be the same. It will alter. It will give way for altering their karma. Jyotisha is a beautiful tool in lessening down the intensity of the karma in whichever the individual is born with, and they're having an opportunity to move away from such kind of an affliction. Just learning Jyotisha, you don't have to particularly start doing remedies. Understanding Jyotisha, understanding who you are, sorting out, aligning yourself to what your chart is telling, where you are going wrong, that itself will start working beautifully. Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, Sankhya Yoga. This can turn around lives for many individuals, and I personally, in my practice, I've seen made wonders. Especially, I think the last shlokas, set of shlokas around 50 to 60, 70, where it will tell you how mind goes through intense attachment to because of desire and what happens because of that. Very, very powerful topic, and a serious student, whosoever is wanting a better perspective on how to control their mind, how to control their desire, lead a peaceful life, you open that, life is never going to be the same again. Bhagavad Gita chapter 10, Vibhuti Yoga, it talks about manifestation, which the whole world is talking about. So somebody reads this chapter in depth, or take time and understand what is it trying to say, it will tell you what manifestation is. It can get dangerous. A powerful soul who's born with a powerful energy, who doesn't know what to manifest, and if they start thinking about manifesting some lower energies, what will happen? That is why some of the hidden secrets, or the secrets are hidden simply because it needs to go in a phased manner to the student. Otherwise it can be pretty damaging. So before even somebody is sat out and manifesting something, they need to understand exactly who they are, what they are made of, what is their energy, do they even need it? Because what you intensely run behind, that is what will change someone's life. So these, some of these, apart from many other things the other scholars and presenters have shared, I had some of these things to share, which I feel in my humble experience of handling certain things and speaking to some of the scholars, or seeing my own journey, my own client's journey, I've seen some of these things working very, very well, where in calming down the mind and in aligning with the karma that they are born with, then there's no turning back for an individual. So with this, I conclude my presentation, and if I have any questions, I'll take it. I hope I have not taken much time.
Slightly more, but it's
Sorry.
interesting. It's an interesting one, so everybody enjoying it also.
Yes, sir. Very, very interesting. How simply five elements can transform the life, and how can we very simply see from small little things that we have actually studied in Mahurat, Yoga, Nakshatra, Day, Tithi, and the current. And we have never understood from this perspective. And frankly, when I started a session, when you told that all these elements need to be well, I realized that the air element was little more in me. So I was feeling little restless. Now then, during the session, I just switched off my camera and do a little pranayama, a little alom vilom, and then I got settled. So that is how, and eventually you spoke about it. So thank you so much for putting it all together in such simplified manner that we can just have a look by looking at five things in the horoscope also, and balancing it with the lifestyle remedies. Beautifully mentioned, sir. Thank you. It was such an interesting one. And
Thank
the
you.
floor is open for question.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody would like to questions?
I think we have they're still digesting the fact. Wonderful.
But it is beautifully mentioned. I was just in awe of it, actually.
Sir,
Yes,
Pradeep sir has summarized it so well. I don't think so anybody has any question, but as you said, we are just trying to digest this information, and we'll definitely use this information on our charts to understand what is it we need to do in order to create balance in our mind, in our body. Pradeep sir, thank you so very much. It was
Thank you.
amazing. It was absolutely marvelous presentation.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you, Pradeep sir. Brilliant presentation. Wouldn't have any question because it was so much to take in, still trying to soak it all But one thing was remarkable that kind of stayed with me, that visual of Kamdhenu in the mind, of what you basically kind of trying to emphasize, whatever you are asking for, whatever you're seeking, you're manifesting that. But it kind of also has me questioning when you mention everything about Bhagavad Gita and all. Should we be then moving towards a state of no desire? Like more.
The no
If,
desire is never a thing that Hindu scriptures ever propagated. That is not a possible. Without desire, everything will go in. It is about performing your duty, accepting your reality, and not getting into a craving state, because the desire actually will get you into 5 different states. Like it can get you into longing, it can get you into maddening, it can get you into enchanting and things. And desire is something that it's like you're pouring a ghee into the fire. One is over, another has started already. One is over, another has started already. That is why Jyotisha can be beautifully understood if somebody can read Gita. They are all not speaking different languages. All of them speak the same language. It just have to be connected, one after the other, connection. Even the Upanishads is the same thing. I'm not a very big scholar of Upanishad. I'm trying to read, but as I have tried to understand these higher texts, Jyotisha makes a lot more sense. And how they have used just Titivara Nakshatra to tell you what is that yoga. That Vinasha yoga that I have mentioned is a very difficult yoga in my practice to have dealt with the clients, because they just get into a very bitter mode, victim mode, unless they are in a competitive field. If they get into a competitive field with that kind of a yoga, it becomes very difficult for an opposition to face that person. And some of the prominent sportsmen have it. We will put it out when the research comes out. Some of the great sportsmen who have achieved great things in India have it. But if it is not coming out in a competition on the ground, it will come out on your relationships. It will come out on you, which is very dangerous.
And sir, there was one more question. When we are talking about the Panchang Tattvas, that is something that a person is born with. And then as they go through life, like you had a graph with all those elements, ether, fire, and all of that. We see in the various dashas the imbalance in all these elements going up and down. That's how.
Yes, your Saturn Rahu. You are running why is it Rahu Dasha dreaded in the old age? Not that some demons is going to come out. After 40, woman's body will naturally take more Vayu Tattva. It will start generating more Vayu Tattva. So if a woman is running a Rahu Dasha at like 60 years or 70 years, it's like already there is Vayu. And there is a planet that is running a Visha Vayu. The joint pains, the issues in the uterus, the issues in elsewhere, it'll all start. The dreaded part was of the medical part of it, not some unknown, unseen thing will come and hit you. Like you're running a Saturn Dasha, the moment next Rahu Bhukti comes in, there is a air plus air that is getting added. Let us take you're not born with either. The moment Jupiter Dasha starts in, you start believing anything is possible. That's what that quality does it. So you expand. Your 100 rupees will become 200 rupees because you have started believing in it. Your mind will take you to places which you were resisting it before.
Good. Makes sense. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for the lovely session. And I would request Brigadier sir to just conclude the session with a vote of thanks. And PC sir, you as well.
I think you've been doing it very well all through. You've thanked each and every speaker all along. All that I have to say, I'll start backwards. सबसे पहले प्रदीप गौड़ा जी के बाद बात करता हूँ. मैस्लोज थियरी ऑफ नीड जो है, मैस्लोज नीड थियरी, उसके अंदर टॉप पर आता है सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइजेशन. And this is what explains Pradeep Gauraji, because having achieved what he wanted in the corporate world, thereafter getting into the spiritualism, it speaks a lot. And incidentally, we have a lot of resemblances. So therefore, I would not like to stress more on it. Gauraji, all the very best in your effort.
Thank you, sir.
And I'm sure you will achieve what you want to. Self-actualization in society. You know, ultimate is one should be able to find out who am I and what am I going to be. And that is
Thank you, sir.
what you will get. And then comes Keshavji, uh, Nadi uh, Jankar. And I had roped him in because of my previous information about him. And I had requested, okay, sir, this is what we want you to speak. And, he's opened a new platform, you know, whenever मैं भी जब predictive classes के अंदर लेता हूँ तो I generally talk about the composite method of analysis, because unless we combine all the techniques that we have, we probably will not reach much headway. और अगर नाड़ी के प्रिंसिपल्स कुछ कुछ कहीं कहीं बीच बीच में इस्तेमाल करते रहें तो दे आर ग्रेटली हेल्पफुल टू अस, वरना हम वो नॉर्मल एस्पेक्ट में ही लगे रह जाते हैं। तो यहाँ पर जो सा है एस्पेक्ट, डायरेक्शनल एस्पेक्ट, इट्स अ वंडरफुल थिंग। एंड इन द एंड पुलकित जी को देखते ही लगता था कि ही इज अ साइकोलॉजिस्ट हु इज गॉन बियॉन्ड, हु इज ऑलरेडी इनटू द स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ। मुझे तो वो साधु ज्यादा और साइकोलॉजिस्ट कम लगे। वेल ऑफ कोर्स साधवन इज आल्सो द साइकोलॉजी ओनली। थैंक यू वेरी मच ऑल थ्री ऑफ यू, एंड आई एम आल्सो ग्रेटफुल टू Padmendra जी फॉर इनिशियल पूजा। वो असल में उसी का सारा असर है। आज का दिन जो सा है बहुत जबरदस्त था, और we went through great thing. पंचांग को समझना काफी जरूरी है, and unless we use पंचांग, we will not be able to make much. असल में देखा जाए तो पंचांग ही ज्योतिष है, बाकी तो सारे के सारे एड ऑन फैक्टर हैं। थैंक यू सो वेरी मच, गॉड ब्लेस यू ऑल। थैंक यू सर।
Thank you.
PC sir, thank you very much for being our sutradhar, and Natasha, grateful to you for taking it on the MC job so well. God bless.
Thank you. Pradeep sir, thank you very much.
Hold on, sir. He might also like to say a few words.
Yes, Pradeep sir.
Although after both of things, nothing can be said. So it's all over, and we are already over the time. But I'm grateful to all the three speakers, Pulkit, Kesav, and Pradeep. Naam Rasi. It's more confusion. If we both write Pradeep, it's confusing. Who is Pradeep is speaking it? But the sequencing also done the good work. Pulkit told about what a psychologist feels about it. How come the people comes to with them with the problems over that part of it. Kesavi has seen the new dimension of Nadi, which I was not aware of it. And he reminded me of the first KML series of 2020, when Pradeep Gauraji and Kesavi has supported their mentors. Kaushik was there for Vasan Saab, Pradeep Gauraji was helping Gayatri Devi Madam also. They were there to come over there. And now this particular science in the safe hands are giving new dimensions. Pulkit told about if you don't have a goal in the life, you will not achieve anything. And that's the start. What Pradeep Gaura has ended. Why you are not having goals in the life? Because you are not having the proper elements to suffice for that part of it. And normally केदार साहब भी बोलते थे, कपूर साहब भी बोलते थे कि आप जब तक पंचांग को नहीं समझेंगे, मुहूर्त को आप लोगों ने बोझ की तरह पढ़ा है अभी तक। मुहूर्त को बोझ की तरह पढ़िए, मुहूर्त को इंटरेस्टिंग बना के पढ़िए, आपकी समझ में आएगा कि पंचांग ही बेसिक फंडामेंटल्स हैं समझने के लिए, प्रेडिक्टिव के पार्ट के लिए। किस तिथि को जन्म हुआ था, किस वार में जन्म हुआ था, उसके नेचर कैसा होगा, देन ओनली एडवाइस। एक व्यक्ति जिसके अंदर बहुत आग है, जब तक वो चैनलाइज नहीं करेगा तो विल बर्न हिमसेल्फ। हवा में उड़ रहा है, हॉट एयर बैलून नहीं होगा तो नीचे गिरेगा तो जमीन चोट खाएगा खाएगा, वहां पक्की बात है। You understand the elements and the Panchak. Pradeep Gowda missed something today. He has not spoken a single Hindi word. And if he has a habit of speaking few words in Hindi, I think perhaps his translator is not with him. So he can speak the Namaskar. That's a Hindi word, he can use it also. Thank you all the three. Kesarji, you can also open a video. We can thank you also by seeing your face, if you are available. We have they acknowledge the presence of Dr. Repti Kumarji, who is present throughout the time. We are missing Chari Saab and Ramesh Chintakji, who was always available. Today they are occupied somewhere else. They are not available here today. These are two personalities who are always available for 2 hours, only listening part of it. Sometimes listening is very difficult, and they listen with well. And we also acknowledge the presence of Chandrasekhar sir from Nagpur, who is a veteran in astrology and is a full support to our part of the veteran of us. We acknowledge all these dignities we present over here, and we dedicate it to the Kapur Sahib and Kedar Sahib. Jai Memory. Thank you very much for all of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We have taken a lot of your time. Enjoy your dinner
Thank you.
and join the next session. And don't forget, we are having one interesting factor, and Pradeep Gowda and Keshav Kaushik both have to be committed on 10th of May. We are having a student competition, and you may be judges of one of the groups. So I am disclosing.
Sir, I'll call you. I'll call you personally.
But we have to enjoy the students' participation there. Thank you very much for all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
We are closing it now.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Sir,